8 area teams are competing in the second round of the IHSA football playoffs. We've heard about 4 of them. Now let's look at the rest. Benton is one of 4 unbeaten teams remaining in the Class 3A playoffs. The Rangers pounded Piasaw Southwestern last week 42-0. Those 42 points are nothing new for the Rangers. During the regular season, the Rangers scored 42 points or more 5 times and averaged more than 43 points a game. But the Benton defense is pretty stout too. They allowed less than a touchdown per game. 5 of their 10 wins were shutouts.
It's November football, and you know the old cliche, the games you remember are those in November, so hopefully it'll be a memorable one for us Saturday.
We just want to go 1-0 this week. We're just focused on this week and to get the win here and keep our season going, and just when they come here, we plan to just beat them.
That's how the good teams do it, one game at a time. The Rangers will host Monticello. The Sages improved to 8-2 after a 42-7 win over Greenville last week. Kickoff is Saturday at 2 o'clock in Benton. Also in Class 4A, the Fairfield Mules hit the road to face Williamsville. Fairfield coach Justin Townsend has built quite the program. This is the Mules' 8th straight trip to the postseason. Each of the last 2 seasons, the Mules lost in the second round. They hope to extend their stay a little longer this year. The Mules have a tough task, 9-1 Williamsville. After a loss in week 1, the Bullets have won 9 straight. Kickoff from Williamsville is tomorrow at 2. Another area team is competing in the Class 2A second round. Johnston City hopes to extend its impressive season. With more on the Indians, here's Sports Director Jake Siegel.
Mark, the Indians certainly believe they're up to the task of trying to take down one of the top powerhouse teams across the entire Metro East region. Breeze Mater Dei coming in at 10-0, a perfect record. They're stacked on both sides of the football and have not given up more than 16 points per game this season, so it'll certainly be a very big challenge for the Indians. Now, Johnston City really set the tone from the start of their last game last week by starting fast and taking advantage of 2 Lawrenceville turnovers late in the first quarter. The Indians turned an interception and fumble recovery into touchdowns during the final minute of the first half to go up by 3 scores, so that was a big part of their success. And head coach Todd Thomas says he knows his team won't back down from a fight, and he's using the philosophy of a former NFL coach to get his team fired up.
We've only went to the quarterfinals once, so it's been kind of a goal of theirs, try to match that. There's a big roadblock in the way. It'll be a tough task, but we're just going to go in as the Herm Edwards used to say, you play to win the game. So that's the way we approach this week, just like always.
So a tall task for 9-1 Johnston City. Mater Dei, as I mentioned, unbeaten with a 10-0 record, and certainly our favorites in this game. And Mark, as we just heard from Coach Todd Thomas, he used a little Herm Edwards there. You play to win the game. So that's what Johnston City will do. They're going to follow their game plan, but it wouldn't hurt to get a little luck from the football gods as well. We'll certainly see how that one shakes out. For now, live in Marion, Jake Siegel, News 3 Sports. Mark?
Thank you, Jake. Another team competing in the Class 2A playoffs is Nashville. The Hornets finished second in the state in the 2019 season, the last time we had postseason play in football. This year's squad is averaging 44 points a game while giving up an average of 10. Their only loss this season was to another playoff team, Freeburg. The Hornets will make the 3-hour bus ride to Bismarck-Henning. The Blue Devils are unbeaten at 10-0 after beating Verdon last week 35-6. Kickoff from Bismarck is tomorrow at 1. The Carterville Lions have a shorter trip for their playoff game this weekend against Freeburg. Now let's check in again with News 3's Danny Valle in Carterville.
Yeah, Mark, it's a much shorter trip, about half the time. It takes 90 minutes to get from Carterville to Freeburg, and you can bet that all the Lions players are going to enjoy every single second of it. It's round 2 of the Class 4A IHSA state playoffs. Everybody's excited, including 2 of the seniors we spoke to today who say they're going to enjoy every moment of it. And now, earlier today, we stopped by practice. Carterville's preparing for Freeburg, who has won 6 straight, including last week's 69-19 win over Olney. Now, today, Coach Brett Dial told me he expects a fight tomorrow. Both teams, he says, are similar on both sides of the ball, and it could come down to either special teams or defense. Coach is ready, so are his seniors. We caught up with 2 of them before practice, and, you know, it could be their final time that they step on the football field, so they talked about what it means to be in this postseason after the pandemic canceled it last year.
We've really put in 3 seasons of work. You know, the start of our junior year, we did fall stuff, and it got canceled, and then we're in spring, and now we're here.
We have nothing to lose, really. Both teams are very similar, and I think we just play like how we usually been playing lately, and just no turnovers and just like control the clock. I think we should do great.
Both teams similar indeed. They have identical 8-2 records, each team averaging about 35 points a game. Freeburg's defense just a tad bit better than the Lions. They're allowing about 17 points a game. Carterville allowing 22 a game. Kickoff tomorrow is at 2:30 from Freeburg. And before Carterville hits the road, they're going to have a team breakfast before they make the 90-minute trip. Another team heading on the road for their playoff game, the Cesar-Valliere-Waltonville Red Devils. Julie Williams is standing by in Cesar with more details. Julie, good evening.
Danny, good evening. It is chilly out here, but that's a good thing. We're getting ready for tomorrow's game. The Red Devils getting ready to hit the road in Athens. Now, it's interesting because today Cesar-Valliere actually didn't have school. They were closed for parent-teacher conferences, but that doesn't mean the football team took the day off. We actually came out here earlier in the afternoon. The guys were out there on the field getting ready for their matchup tomorrow against the Athens Warriors. Again, that's a 2 p.m. matchup. They'll hit the road early in the morning. It's about a 3-hour drive for these guys. Now, I do want to touch on the players themselves because they know that they've got a challenge ahead of them, but they're not scared. They were really enthusiastic. Everyone I talked to today, they know that they can pull this off. They say they think they surprised a lot of people last week in the first round of the playoffs with their win against Casey, and they're ready to do it again tomorrow. Like I said, these guys were here at the school grounds on a day that they didn't even have class. So they say, you know, they're excited. They've got a lot of grit, and they think they've got what it takes.
Good. We surprised a lot of people this year, and we're not done yet, so we're looking forward to tomorrow, and we're going to be ready to roll and have a good game.
I think that our defense is the best it's looked all year. We're a solid, fast team, and I think we're going to have a challenge tomorrow, but I think we're well prepared for it.
You know, Mark, and that was something that kept coming up was the speed of this team. And you could see it in practice today. It was a little bit of a scaled back practice to, you know, give their muscles some time off before tomorrow. But even still, they're bringing it. They've got the heart. Both Coach Rude and Coach Shadowin say the same thing. These guys are ready to go. So I think it's going to be an exciting matchup up in Athens tomorrow as the Red Devils hit the road to take on the Warriors for a 2 p.m. game. Mark, I'll send it back to you.
All right, Julie, thank you. And we have more football to talk about. News 3 Sports Extra continues right after this break.